So I've been on a big personal development journey since 2020, 2021, and it's taught me a lot. But what it's allowed me to do is be around a lot of very influential and successful people in the fields that I want to aspire to as well. Athleticism, professional, coaching, wealth. And I've learned a lot because there's been a lot of key players in these moments over the years that they have a lot of the same characteristics and traits that I've actually adopted that's then allowed me to achieve that success. Because a lot of what you're being taught in life isn't just the information. You're actually learning and observing through other people, like how someone articulates themselves, how someone deals with a problem that sends you into a meltdown and they just brush it off their shoulder. Like, it's mad. The more time you spend with people doing the thing that you want to do, the more you see that it's not necessarily about the information. It's about how you behave, how you conduct yourself, your characteristics, the things that you embody, the things that you just like do not tolerate. And that's what I want to really talk about today. So the first one is just one that so many people do not have, is you need to have urgency about you when it comes to crushing your goals. Now, I'm not saying that you need to be wired to a Mars bar on the go 24/7. I am someone that lives like this. I do know my limits, and I do actually make sure that I'm getting plenty of rest and recovery in there. Like, I've learned what it is to fly too close to the sun, and I've learned the hard way. But at the same time, like, you can't be someone that's just so lackadaisical and just going to and from things and letting things happen to them. I see this with so many people that are like, yep, I want to do this, I want to do that, but it's just like they've got no oomph, they've got no urgency. Anyone that's achieving anything in life across the board, physically, personally, professionally, has a bit about them, and they know exactly where they need to be, and they've got the punctuality to actually be there as well and get it done. So if you're at the point right now where maybe it's part of your traits, maybe it's part of your characteristics, you're maybe quite laid back. I'm not saying stop being laid back, but make sure that you're actually showing up with a bit of oomph. Make sure that your day's engineered in a way that isn't just pondering around, like letting it happen to you. Make sure that you are getting it done and getting after it. The next one is one that I struggled with for such a long period of time. You need to start being true to yourself, and you need to just let go of things that you're embarrassed about. I know there's going to be things that we're all embarrassed about. We've all got deep, dark secrets. We've all got things that we do. We've got vices. We've got guilty pleasures, right? I get it, right? Everyone's got them. But there's certain things that are just not in alignment with the person you're trying to be. And for me, I struggled with this for a very long time, especially to do with my eating behaviours and my habits of the weekend. Now, I know this is a journey of progress, but I wasn't actually being honest with myself. And anyone that I know and I'm aware of that I look up to that's really doing all the things that I want, these people of influence, the traits and characteristics, is they just own it and they don't lie about it, whereas I was lying about it for a period of time. Like, for example, I used to party, drink, smoke. And when I quit smoking, there was a long, long period of time where I was still a social smoker. Anytime I was at a party, anytime I was going out, I would still buy a packet of cigarettes and I would still smoke. And I used to be mortified about it. Now, I wasn't mortified when I was out, but the idea of someone finding out about that was like my worst nightmare. And it just begs the question, then why are you doing it? Why are you doing something that doesn't align with the person you're trying to be, right? There's always going to be things that are lying in front of us, but if you're doing things that you know you're just secretly doing, like things that you know you have complete control over that you need to actually change, but you're just not actually admitting, the first step is admitting them and going, right, I can't be doing that if I want to be this person right now. I had a conversation with a client the other day, and they were basically talking about, this is someone that's actually recovering from an eating disorder, and they're coming to an event this weekend, and they said as soon as they seen that there was like 2 meals at the event, their first thing was, well, I'm not going to eat that meal. And then they said to themselves, well, you know what? I'm actually going to be speaking at that event, and for the type of person I want to be and the goals that I have, they wouldn't do that. So I chose that I'm going to do it. And the point I'm trying to get at here is it's the internal dialogue, guys, right? You need to be honest with yourself. Now, I know that that happens at different stages and everything is growth, right? But if there is really obvious things in your life that you are embarrassed about that you are still doing, have a word with yourself and do something about it and change it. The next one is about sweating the little stuff. So when anyone starts a journey of progress, whether that's like pushing their physique, stepping into a new modality of training, they're given a plan and a strategy. And typically in that plan and strategy, there's like metrics that they need to track. They need to track their food, need to track their weight, need to track their training, whatever that is, right? Now, anyone that is successful never stops doing that stuff, right? Not saying that you need to track your nutrition forever. I don't even track my nutrition right now, but there's things that are forever constant me. I always track my weight, I always track my training, I always plan my food, so I'm in control of my macros, I just don't track it. The point I'm trying to get at here is I see so many people that are struggling whatever it is they're doing, whether that comes to their life, physically, in their physique, with their nutrition, in their business, whatever that is. And someone gives them a method. So they say, right, I want you to start tracking this and logging this. And they're like, fantastic. And things get better. But what's the big mistake that they do? They stop doing it as soon as things get better. And anyone that I've seen that's got huge amounts of success, they're not trying to just get out of pain. They're seeing the value in tracking metrics. Metrics are so important in everything that you do, because where attention goes, energy flows. And it's not to say you tracking or not tracking one thing. Is it going to be the thing that stands between you achieving great success and not a lot of success? Probably not in a week. But the version of you who does that every single week meticulously, focuses on the boring work, over the course of a year, 52 weeks, is going to be in a far more advantageous point than the person who doesn't. And I can tell you that for free right now. So anyone that I've ever spent time with sweats the little stuff. They treat everything like a day one person. They have that white belt mentality. And that's where I see so many folk go wrong, where they're given a process and they follow it for 2 or 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Or as soon as things get good, they stop doing it. That's not the point in doing it. The point of doing it isn't to just get out of pain. The point of doing it is to raise awareness and make sure that you're the person that's always in the driver's seat when it comes to your results and progress. This one's probably one that you didn't expect, but it's actually listening to people and smiling when you're listening to people as well. One thing that I see a lot of when we work with new people coming into the program, I always ask them on the discovery call, on their athletic performance call with Ailey, on the blueprint call with me, I say to them, what have you taken away from the call so far? I ask this all the time. Any of my clients watching this will be laughing, because it's really important for me to get the person to actually think about the conversation that they're having. And one of the things that I'm always first met with a new client is that it's just nice to be listened to. So many folk in life now, whatever's happening, whatever people are going through, aren't even in conversation with each other. They aren't even like having the same chat. And you can actually have conversations with some people where you can actually tell that, yeah, they're quiet. Yeah, it looks like they're listening, but all they're waiting on is the first gap so that they can say the thing that they want to say, because they've not even been listening to what you said, or they checked out the conversation 10 seconds ago as soon as you mentioned X, Y, or Z. If you want to do really, really well in life, if you want to be someone that's literally an influential figure, that's getting ahead, that's getting attention, that's getting opportunities, you need to actually actively listen to people and actually just acknowledge people as well. It goes such a long way. Like, any opportunity that you're going to have in your life is going to come down to the relationships with other people in your life. But if you're someone that doesn't listen, you're always talking over people, you're always distant, you're always just trying to button and put your part, you're always going to be stuck in the same position. I had a conversation with a client the other day, and I was basically saying to them, it's becoming quite evident now that like listening's an area that we need to work on right now, because we're having similar conversations, but you're choosing to not do the thing that we've agreed with. Is that something that you're aware of? And they're like, yeah, I've always struggled with it. And I said to them, so what's your plan? Do you want to just accept it that that's the way it is, or do you want to do something about it? They were like, absolutely not, I want to do something about it. So I said, what do you think you need to do then? And this is it, guys. Like, you're not going to, like, a lot of folk don't realize that like your results physically with your training, your performance professionally can massively be hindered by your communication. And a lot of folk are like, how does that make sense? Think about it. Your communication is how you engage in anything in life. And if that is off, or you are unable to do that effectively, you're not going to get the same opportunities of the version of yourself who can. So guys, active listening, acknowledge people, and be engaged in communication instead of actually just talking over people and not listening to what people are saying. If you cannot communicate with other people, you can't communicate with yourself. If you can't communicate with yourself, as soon as you're overwhelmed, challenged, you're going to be literally like a wee toddler in your head spinning around crying, because you're not going to know what to do. So learn to communicate, and it's going to unlock so many levels when it comes to your results and progress. And then the last one, I don't want to butcher this because it's a quote by Henry Ford. Thinking is hard. It's why so many people do not do it. If you can just actually get to the point where you actually sit and digest something that's happening in your life, I'm telling you right now, you will be so far ahead of the version of you who does not do it. Let's say, for example, you've had a bit of a challenging day at work. It's been mishap after mishap. You know, one of those days where it's actually been a series of unfortunate events, and you know you've got stuff to do. You know you've got things you need to action. You know you've got goals. And you get to this point where you just feel like you want to punch a hole in the wall, or you just feel like you want to have a wee cry. You just feel like, why has this happened to me? You want to get your wee violin out. If you do not take the time to actually just sit and think about what you need to do, you'll either be stuck in the same position or it will get worse. And this is where I see so many people get to, is they do not think. Same going back to the point with the conversation. They do not listen to what's being said. They just hear what's being said. They do not actually take the time to digest what's going on. They do not take the time to actually think about solutions. They just think about problem. Thinking is one of the most underrated things that so many people just do not think about. They just do not think about it at all. People just go through the motions. And now, because of phones, technology, and mindless scrolling, it's just making more and more people be mindless and just be an absolutely autopilot, and it just does nothing for them in life. So yeah, guys, like a bit of a run through of what I covered today. If you want to be super influential, super successful in your life, the things I want you to focus on is having a bit of urgency, having a bit about you, actually listening to what you're embarrassed about and actually being like, right, maybe I'm embarrassed about this for a reason. Stop cutting corners with the boring work and actually stick through it. It's like, just because it's slowed down or you've got the thing that you set out to do doesn't mean stop doing it now. Smile and actually listen to people, acknowledge people. It goes such a long way. And actually take a moment to actually think about your actions, think about your repercussions of doing something or not doing something, and actually start creating some independence when it comes to your mindset and your outlook and your decisions and what you're doing. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. A little bit of a different one. Never done one like this before when it comes to traits and characteristics, so I hope you took a lot away from it. Please drop your comments below about what your thoughts were. And if you are interested in working with us as well, there is a link below to put directly in for a call, and we would absolutely love to help you. If you've been following this channel for any length of time, we are speaking to your soul. You're nodding your head all the time. You're relating to this stuff so much. And you're like, do you know what? These guys could really help me. Do something about it and take action on it. What's the worst case scenario? You get better. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the episodes. And yeah, have a fantastic day. See you later. Goodbye.